Well, since Empty Page said the song I was humming, I assume you all can hear me now. Rackin' frackin' IT department. Need to fire them and get a new group, I swear. Okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not having an existential crisis that we lost stream in 20 minutes and how that's totally not a portent of doom for the rest of today's office hours. I'm sure it's going to be fine. So, can anyone tell me when I stopped being audible at all? Son of a Scarlet King's jockstrap, I swear. I am going to go pull up the super chats that we missed because of a broken stream. Pulling this up over here. As soon as you said something about 4521, you were checking cameras. You asked security to check on 4521. Okay, I got you. All right. So, I pulled up security on 4521, and what you missed was me ordering security to let me know if there have been any reality shifts inside SCP-4521 cell to gauge if this SCP-4521 in your universe tree has actually replaced our version of 4521. Because if that happened, I would be very upset. Because I'm looking to make one specific tree scream. And if I lose that opportunity, oh, am I going to burn down some forests. Now, refreshing, making sure I'm on everything here. All right, so the missed donations, starting with Sheeny. Thank you for an incredibly generous donation right at the start of the stream, your first stream donation of the day. I know you wanted to get on the root beer float game. I want you to go to the commissary and I want you to ask for a special root beer float. Now, you have to say it exactly the way I just said it. The code word has to be special root beer float with the downward intonation on special. That's how you get your reward for such a generous donation. And again, thank you for your generosity. In regards to the tree, have we tried reverse psychology yet? Like, I don't care if you scream or not. And also, with what's already been said, have you tried giving it ice cream? Since I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. We have tried reverse psychology. It was a pretty big waste of time. We haven't tried giving it ice cream, and honestly, that's an easy enough test that we can just do that in link with another test and probably pull it off. So maybe that's a route to go. We'll see. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, I believe. I can't see memberships on this page, so I'm just guessing. But grab yourself a strawberry milk on your way past the commissary. There's going to be a strawberry moon. Also, hello. Well, hello. And am I familiar? I don't think I'm familiar with the term strawberry moon. It certainly looks a lot like Bloodborne to me. That is, horrifying. Great. Well, I'll be on the lookout for any eldritch beings. Good to know. Thank you for the tip. Zagome, thank you for donating again. SCP-4521 in your universe, thank you for donating again. Enough with the bit. I have an SCP idea and I want your opinion. A truth serum that changes the universe so whatever you say has retroactively always been true. So it is a drug that doesn't make you tell the truth, it makes your truth true. Well, that essentially turns you into a reality bender, which we would not want to do. But if someone did that, then we could certainly have some interesting containment protocols for said fluid. So I could see some interesting stories for that, and I can see how the reality bender who was created would not know how to use their powers and therefore would accidentally say things which would cause problems for them. So this isn't a bad idea for an SCP. It's just going to be a tricky writing prompt. But hey, if you can make a good story out of it, do your best and give it a shot. The name IPPAF and IPPAF, Interplanetary Private Army Fleet. Well, I'm going to call you IPPAF for short, so thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a mint on your way past the commissary. How much could my organization be from value for the SCP Foundation? Well, an interplanetary private army fleet would start as a group of interest, of course. But depending on how loyal you were to keeping anomalies from the public, maybe we could work together. The Thomas, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a croissant on your way past the commissary. Going to Dutch Comic-Con and my site director gear for a recruitment drive next week. Still need those new application forms mailed to me. Oh, yeah, conventions are a great place to find nerds. And nerds are the very people we want to hire for the Foundation. So, with that being the case, that's probably the right place to go. So, good luck, and hey, if you don't get them shipped quick enough, just head to a print shop. You'll be fine. Dr. Sherman, your mic is out, and sorry guys, I screamed so loud I blew out his mic. 4521, in your universe, thank you for donating twice to try and rectify the situation from the end of last stream. And now I am caught up, returning to the current stream. That thumbnail, I'm saving that. Zach Craft, if you go to Site42's Twitter right now, the top post is a retweet of a full version of that art. And oh my god, the things that aren't in the thumbnail because of the way a thumbnail crops it on YouTube, you see his little top hat and cane. Oh my god, or sorry, sorry, 3086 is the first SCP I ever wrote. I'm emotionally attached. So yes, its top hat and cane are visible in the full video. So you should go check that out because it's very cute. Eden Pixel, the creator of the art, did a fantastic job because I told them just go nuts and draw this anomaly however they want to draw it. And they did all this like digital pixelization around the edges because George is an anomaly that self-duplicates on any page it is adjacent to, and that includes the web. So imagine if you put George on a website and then there was a link to an email address, then it would be able to go to that email address, infect all the emails, then those emails went to other people whose email inboxes would also be taken over. It is a real pain to contain, that's for sure. Whew. All right, let's pin that art there for fun. Thank you, Desk. And now, going into the donations and such for this stream so far. Project Unfarmed. Thank you for becoming a member here at Site 42 at the Mobile Task Force Captain level. Because you're Tier 2, you get early access to our videos as well as your chat, thankfulness. So you are able to enjoy the early access of the second episode of our playthrough of Fragmented Minds. Thank you for becoming a member. And same to you, SCP-4521 in your universe. Thank you for becoming a member. We appreciate your membership and your service. Is your thumbnail AI? Steven, absolutely not. We at the Foundation SCP community do not endorse generative AI for art. You know, we're an arts community. We don't really dig being replaced. So that is a pixel artist on Twitter, and they've been making cool pixel art, and they just opened their commissions, and so they sent me drafts of their sketches, and so no, it's not AI. Mine Wolf, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Slim Jim on your way past the commissary. Smallish Games, thank you for your donation. I don't remember if this is your first or second because of the way the stream broke, but just in case, go get yourself some crab cakes on your way past the commissary. Any anomalous oceans or large bodies of water? Well, there is certainly the water with the bodies. The bodies you do not recognize. That's for sure an anomalous body of water. But also, if we, let's say for the sake of argument, we go to SCP-2316, because we know it is an anomalous lake, and we go down to the tags. And at the bottom of the article, in the tags, we have cadaver, class of 76, cognitohazard, hive mind, Keter, location, meta, mind affecting, SCP, visual. No tags regarding water. Interesting. Let's go to the tags and see if we can't find anything water related. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. No water tag. Is there a lake tag? JKL. Liquid. We have a liquid tag, but that's really kind of a stretch for what we're looking at here. There is no lake. Ocean, maybe? I mean, if a whole ocean were anomalous, that'd be pretty hard to contain, I imagine. Yeah, no ocean. River? No river. Okay, so it's just no anomalous bodies of water. 354 has found the, of course, Desk got up the Red Pool, the Blood Lake in Canada. So, yeah, there is no bodies of water tag, which means you've got to be searching for SCP Lake, SCP Ocean, SCP Tributary, SCP Delta, all these kinds of water words if you want to find SCPs regarding anomalous bodies of water. There are definitely a lot more anomalies that are in bodies of water than there are anomalies that are purely bodies of water. At least we found 354. That's a good start. Ippath, did you not hear me respond to your donation earlier? If not, yes, a planetary organization would be a group of interest, although if they aligned with the Foundation, then they would be a useful ally. It's just, you know, the Foundation likes to keep things in-house, and we don't like to outsource if we don't have to. Is the cover art for this AI? Cole, you're the second person to ask that. I am 99% sure it's not AI, but you're all worrying me a little bit. I am pretty sure that the pixel artist who made it did a bunch of, like, sketches as they built the anomaly. picture, so I don't think it's AI. Now you're making me paranoid. Because the SCP community does not F with AI. Their page says they do not take AI requests and they do not do commissions with AI usage. So I certainly hope they're being honest about that, of course. Madness, you're right. It is crazy now that we got to be paranoid with AI art all the time. It is frustrating for sure. $729-J SCP. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pocket knife at the commissary with which to commit seppuku, please. I took your mic. All the more reason. The Thomas, thank you for donating again. We've yet to hear from the on-site team, but I've asked the White Rabbits to report Site 511 just in case. All right. We'll be alert for that. Project Unfarmed, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as becoming a member. Make sure to grab yourself a cherry cola on your way past the commissary. Finally fixed the paying thing. Congratulations. Anyway, was Professor Lucius a content farm? I've gone through both yours and Radiger's channels, and you both seem to change your minds. It's important to my project. So, thus far, Radiger and I both, I believe, kind of think they were. Although they showed us, they were more forthcoming with their process to us than the other content farms were. They talked to us about a little bit of their process and their team. It seems like they were on the level, maybe. It's murky. It's a whole trust issue and the effort they put into their videos. Also, they kind of did the same disappearing thing that that Void and Rubber did, where they just kind of quit and left. So I'm iffy on them. I know Radiger did a content farm video on them, right? And I think they did a little better than Rubber and Void did when it comes to grading. I haven't worried about them too much since they left anyways, so I'm not fretting or vetting them at this point. Is Dr. Bob a content farm? So remember this, by the way, content farm is a subjective term. It is not a literal application that you can put on anything. For example, Marvel is, by all intents and purposes, a content farm. It is a big company pumping out work, and when it comes to being a, quote, content farm, it is a moral judgment based on if you think they are putting effort and care into their works. A company that pumps out work becomes a content farm if they are pumping out work at rapid speed while not paying enough attention to quality. And so for Rubber and Detective Void, the reason I didn't like them is because they cut a lot of corners. They reused and traced people's art. They did not take proper research into the anomalies they were covering. Again, look into Radiger's Content Farm series for the reasons that they were like the bottom of the pile. Meanwhile, Dr. Bob, if you would consider them a content farm, at least they seem to be one of the better ones in comparison. The line between content farm and group that is making things is blurry. It's up to you to decide. For me, I mean, I'm trying to build Site 42 into a content farm, but the kind that puts the effort into the work and pays the artists a healthy wage, therefore everyone wins. But that's, you know, a lot. It takes time and resources. Dr. Sherman, what would happen if SCP-3086 manifested in a story that Murphy Law was in? Well, I would have a very good time because Murphy Law is amazing, and I would love to see Murphy Law and George in the same place. Honestly, I've got this feeling in the back of my head that it happened. Nah, I don't think I'm remembering that right. Checking the database. Nah, it seems like they have not crossed over, as much as I would find that quite enjoyable for it to have happened. Dr. Sherman, how does it feel inside that facility? Oh, it's a pretty nice temperature right now. We're doing okay. The acoustics lab can be a little stuffy at times, but so far so good. All right, now I know that this is wrong because there is one tale on the wiki that mentions George the Chinchilla, and it's not listed here, so, well, maybe in the future that'll happen one day, but honestly, I do not want Murphy to turn into an iteration of 3086, so I would not be enjoying that. What did... Ah, whoever was asking about an anomalous lake earlier, anomalous bodies of water, Desk found SCP-4290. And it's at the bottom of a lake. Yeah, I love this one. This one's frickin' hilarious. 4290 is a really funny article. It's pretty short, so check it out. Does the Foundation have any Pride festivities? CC Diary, of course we do. The Foundation celebrates Pride and it bumps up our researchers, not through any real caring about Pride issues, but because it improves morale above staff, and that's important. So the Foundation does purely corporate Pride. I mean, you gotta imagine a somewhat fascist organization is only gonna do the bare minimum. That being said, the SCP Wiki does celebrate Pride, and Pride Fest is going on right now, highlighting LGBTQ-themed articles on the site. And we're doing the same thing here at Site 42 with articles suggested by the community. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. Is it okay to recognize the water in the bodies in the water? I feel like recognizing the water that's in the bodies would make you more likely to recognize the bodies, since bodies are made of water. So I'm gonna say no, not a good plan. Doctor, is Donald Trump an SCP? Fluffy Demon, no, while Trump is not specifically an SCP, it is the containment procedure for SCP-5004, which means that Donald Trump is labeled SCP-5004-B. And I hate that that's a fact and that we have to let that fly. (729-J-SCP), thank you for donating again. 729-J is stronger than AI. I don't even understand the comparison there. What are you talking about? Doc, is Ronald Reagan a real SCP? To my knowledge, only Ronald Reagan is part of the 1981, Ronald Reagan cut up while talking. SCP tape. So I don't believe the actual Ronald Reagan is an SCP. B stands for bitch. Thank you, Sheeny. I agree wholeheartedly. That's referring to the Donald Trump being SCP-5004-B, in case you were needing of a clarification. Delta999, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a scone on your way past the commissary. Doctor, I recommend you try the brisket today. Well, I do enjoy some brisket. That year I spent in Texas, that was a good time for barbecue. Nix, welcome to Level 1 Researchership here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service. Doctor, is Weird Al Yankovic a part of the Foundation by any chance? I am very interested to see if Alfred has made his way to the Foundation anyway. Weird Al Yankovic. It seems like... No way. So 3636 is the world's greatest jukebox. And the world's greatest jukebox anomaly is a jukebox that has a golden plate claiming to be the world's greatest jukebox. The glass selection screen, where one would typically find booklets detailing the songs available, is instead replaced with a blue touchscreen displaying a search bar in the text. Search for song title, artist, or album. It has no coin slot and no apparent power source. Selecting a song from this jukebox will cause a list containing every version of the song known to exist, including unreleased early demos, as well as every live performance ever. So that's pretty impressive. When a song is selected, 3636's screen changes to display a video with the text "Live Music Video" above it. The video is based on the lyrical content of the song, often directly depicting the events mentioned in the song. Other times, the events seen in the video are the result of a play on words. The events in 3636 actually occur at a real-world location visible in 3636's video. The phenomenon referred to as 3636-1 lasts for the length of the song. So, if you play a song on here, things in the real world happen, and you can watch those things on the screen. Song 4 that we tested it with was "The Night Santa Went Crazy" by Weird Al Yankovic. And so that is why this came up in the search in the database. When they played "The Night Santa Claus Went Crazy," great song by the way, a Santa Claus did in fact carry several weapons and assault a large building filled with human beings that look like Christmas elves. After a large shootout and several explosions, the man executes 5 reindeer and then is arrested by several FBI agents. So that is one iteration of Weird Al on the wiki, but it's not present. It's not Weird Al himself. And this is kept in a secure cell at Site 17, and you need level 2 or higher clearance to access it. There is also a blacklist of songs you may not test with it. What is the blacklist? You cannot blacklist. You cannot play on the World's Greatest Jukebox. We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel. Worldwide Suicide by Pearl Jam. Oof. It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine by REM. That's literally an XK. I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire by the Ink Spots. Hey, that one is just about not setting the world on fire. Although it would light a fire in your heart. And so that would not be good. Nuclear War on the Dance Floor by the Electric Six. Great song, but not for the jukebox. You Cannot Play Goodbye Blue Sky by Pink Floyd. I can imagine that would be bad. Distant Early Warning by Rush is wrong. Chemical Bomb by the Aquabats is bad. Call of Cthulhu by Metallica is a bad idea. Countdown to Extinction by Megadeth's a bad idea. Zombie Jamboree by Rockapella. Ooh, They didn't. I wonder why they didn't use the original version by Harry Belafonte, and they instead chose rockapella, who I love. I love rockapella music as a singer. Acapella's great. It's very niche and nerdy, though. I'm shocked they used that. You can't play Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes. You can't play Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. You can't play Chocolate Rain by Tay Zonday. Oh, God. You can't play It's Raining Men by the Weather Girls. You can't play Somebody's Watching Me by Rockwell. You can't play The Night Santa Went Crazy by Weird Al. You can't play My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. I wonder what happened with that one. You can't play Werewolves of London or Godzilla or Black Hole Sun. That is a bunch of good choices and one that I didn't expect. All right, where is Weird Al in SCP-6221? Are you here? Oh, we're actually mentioning The Night Santa Went Crazy again. Apparently, you really should not play The Night Santa Went Crazy at the Foundation. This is 2 anomalies that are causing this to happen. So, 6221 is a collection of films, television programs, animations, and a single music album that comprise at least 24 distinct pieces of media. All instances are styled as Christmas or holiday-centric. That's why Weird Al showed up again. But rather having typical morals and themes that are expected from this form of media. The content is highly subversive, and in the case of animated media, inappropriate for the alleged target demographic of children due to presence of violence. This is Vikander Need Technical Media's fault, an anomalous group of interests that makes anomalous broadcast and television shows. And finally, the last chance we have for Weird Al to get here. This time, it is an anomalous series of radio broadcasts, and on one of them, there was a 5-second snippet of Fat by Weird Al Yankovic. So 3 mentions on the wiki, 2 of which were The Night Santa Went Crazy. Interesting. Oh, by the way, for everyone suggesting songs for the jukebox, if you want to look into SCP-3636 deeper, there is an experiment log of SCP-3636 songs and what happened. And it is numerous entries. So you can have fun with that. All right, back to the chat. I've been on this tangent for a while. SCP-729-J, sorry for the earthquake. Thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a thorn that I want you to get stuck in your finger by grabbing it on your way past the commissary. Did you know that centaurs have 2 rib cages, Doc? Everyone knows that. Very clear. You can look at them. Oh, Andy, you had yourself a bit of the cheeky Nando's, did ya? Yeah, that sure happens. Jacob, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a Blintz on your way past the commissary. Question, would the SCP Foundation contain demi-humans if their biology could be explained as possible to exist? Also, Santa also sent a fox to bite your toes. Is that why I had to regrow a toe this morning? Very rude. Took a long time in medical this morning. Not likely. Demi-humans, if they started to happen, we would contain them and just make sure that normal humans were out there. They would be anomalous until they overran us and we had to pretend they were normal. So we would try to contain them until we couldn't. The Thomas, thank you for donating again. Right, Lamba 5 has reported all clear at 511, no screams detected. I'll be clocking out as it's getting late over here at Site 82. I sent a rainbow cake to the commissary for morale. Good night. Oh, very smart move. Enjoy some rainbow cake, everyone, for morale. Jonathan, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, I'd like to amend the black list to include anything by Megadeth. Well, we need to put a big issue. Mud Pie, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some rainbow cake on your way past the commissary. Hey there, has there ever been a non-interdimensional aliens? Well, yes, plenty of aliens exist in our universe. We just don't let them talk to the public. That would be bad, because that would break normalcy. We can't let humanity know aliens exist, because they would freak out. You know what Agent K said. Humans, a person is smart. Humans are stupid, panicky animals, and you know it. Vegas, thank you for subscribing to Site 42. Welcome to staff. Good morning from Australia. Are there any SCPs that are from down here? I'm familiar with the Rainbow Serpent, but I'm wondering if there are more. Well, I know about the Meanwhile in Australia meme. That's a familiar anomaly. I see you all speaking on some maybe glitching in the chat. How bad is it? I keep saying, no, it's fine now, no, it's not, no, it's fine now, no, it's not. The microphone is cutting out, eh? I will sing this song so we check how it's working when the mic works. Am I still glitching? Is my song sounding fine or not? I'm seeing lots of people say it's fine. I hope that's true. I hope there's not a problem. I'm gonna finish this song and move on. Back to the chat, let's go. All right, maybe the latency issues will clear up then. Jacob, thank you for donating again. Please read the file on SCP-999-EX. Okay, so I almost forgot. Other anomalies in Australia for that question that was a minute ago. You want to look into 4297, 3477, and 5007. That is 3 anomalies in Australia besides a rainbow serpent. Now, I was asked to look at the documentation for SCP-999-EX, but it's not coming up. Never read any EXs. They're always bad or good. It's not worth it to take the gamble. I disagree entirely, and not just because I'm biased as the writer of an EX. So, maybe I should leave the grumpy music on. Maybe it'll help the stream clear up. What the hell? Why is this, scrolling. Why is 999-EX doing this? I don't understand this splash page. I feel like my browser is having a problem with this. Let me open a non-dark mode browser and see if this makes any more sense there. Smallish Games. There is no dark mode for the wiki. I use a dark mode browser extension. SCP-999-EX. All right, what does this say? Why is it, why is it scrolling? What incarnation is this? This is strange. Okay, so it is a golden retriever, non-anomalous, demonstrate the capacity for limited human speech, though it... What the hell is this? I can't even read the anomaly because it keeps scrolling something in front. This is weird. Show me the page source. Show me the files. Put it on reader mode or something. So the joke here is that every dog can talk. That's the joke of the anomaly. And also, I don't understand why there's this random splash page that stops you from being able to read it at all. That's frustrating. I don't get what's happening here, and it makes me annoyed. So I'm giving up. Sorry, Jacob, that I could not fulfill that request. It was being rude. Nix, thank you for donating again. O5 upgraded my weapon privileges. I'm deadlier now. Is that helpful? Dr. Sherman, who do you think would win in a fight? Murphy Law or SCP-4028? Well, intern Frogman, I am quite familiar with Murphy's capabilities. But what is it, 4208? I feel like these two met already. Yeah, Murphy Law is already in this article somehow. I don't see where. Trying to find it. I don't see Murphy Law in this article, but it's tagged Murphy Law, which means Murphy's in here somewhere. Where the hell is it? Control F. Murphy. Yeah, you're tagged there, but why aren't you showing up? You're tagged again, but you're not showing up. Oh. Murphy's only tagged because it uses one of the Foundation-operated bots from the Murphy Law article as a reference. Ay, ay, ay. Anticlimactic. So, I'm going to simply answer that at the end of the day, Murphy Law sweeps because Don Quixote, SCP-4028, does not have guns. Murphy Law has guns. So in a fight, the one that can shoot the other one is going to win. Pretty straightforward. Doc, do you have a least favorite SCP you have to work with? Well, intern Isabella, I would suggest the worst SCPs are SCP 729-J, as well as anyone infected with SCP-022-J. They are just infuriating. Jacob, thank you for donating again. Where was Site-42 staff and you during daybreak? As far as I know, in the universe where the when daybreak scenario came to pass, it seems like I was in a bunker underneath Site-42, and anyone above ground obviously got flesh monstered immediately. Space War Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself a chili dog on your way past the commissary. Has an 05 ever become U.S. president? Well, we've had a lot of U.S. presidents as Foundation staff being put in. SCP president. So, 5092 is an anomaly that affects the United States president, but that's not an O5 as president. 4444 is Al Gore, right? And Dr. Elias Shaw became president for a while. That was very frustrating for everyone involved. No, I don't think an O5 has ever been president as far as I can tell. Richard Nixon was an SCP. Okay, 2736-2. That's a tricky dick. Oh, I've got a donation here, but it's on Ko-Fi. I see. Fanemi, thank you for purchasing a Ko-Fi. By going the long way to donate, you have made sure that YouTube doesn't get 30% of your donation. So much appreciated that you went through the effort. Out of curiosity, is the moon in your reality haunted as well? Well, for us, we just got a replacement moon after we blew up the spider moon. So as of right now, our moon seems to be fine. Although, now that I think about it, I believe in the newest SCP anthology, there was a moon's haunted SCP. So maybe our new moon is haunted. Which one's the moon? Is there a lunophobia? Lunophobia? Is it selenophobia? I don't remember the name of the moon's haunted. Ooh, I was right. That's right, because selenophobia is lunar phobia. What does that actually mean? Selenophobia. So yes, in SCP-8520, there is something haunting the moon in our universe right now. Okay, good to know. Good to keep track of. Clover on pause. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Hey, Doc, what's your favorite SCP-001 proposal, if you have one? Mine is 001-EX, a good boy, for the record. A good boy is a good one. My favorite would have to be SCP-001, Lily's proposal. If the world has got to go to hell, at least I hope it's a pretty and chill time. Can you remember SCP-055? Well, with the Nestics I took this morning, I can remember that we have an SCP-055, for now anyways, but I don't remember anything about it. Do you work with the government? Intern Icy Quill, the Foundation is a non-governmental organization. Important to remember that. We are not affiliated with a world government. That said, sometimes we do have to collaborate with them in order to do our work containing the Anomalous. And of course, that means sometimes that we have installed presidents or done this or that. But we are not a governmental organization. We are a private organization for sure. Doc, why are there so many 001 SCP creatures or what? Well, for classification purposes, we don't want the actual SCP-001 to be known. There are reasons why that knowledge is hidden. And a great way to hide it is to make a haystack and then toss your needle in there. If the Foundation is so secretive, why is there a whole site page dedicated for explaining everything about the Foundation? Well, one explanation would be that hiding things in plain sight is a great way to do it. You make yourself sound unbelievable, that way no one believes you when the real things happen. B, it could all just be fiction after all. We are just a creative writing community. Josie does not like pepper jack. Please, someone help. Stop giving Josie cheese. It is right there in the containment procedures. Please. Dark Red, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. Time check, we are currently at the 90-minute mark of today's stream. I know it doesn't say that because of the glitch stream we had earlier, but there we are. So, now, at the halftime mark, I'm going to give you your gay homework. What is your gay homework? Well, first of all, I need you to tell me, did you read, like you were supposed to, SCP-8000-EX? SCP-8000-EX, titled Dungeons and Denial and Dysphoria and Dragons. I'm definitely giving this article a +1. Oh, it got an extra +1 since yesterday as well. If you're reading these and you have a wiki account, please make sure you're voting on them. It always helps, whether you vote up or down. If you're voting, you're winning. So, man, this hits really well if you're familiar with the Satanic Panic regarding Dungeons and Dragons. It was a whole to-do with Christians thinking that we were literally summoning demons by playing Dungeons and Dragons. And I say we, not counting myself, because I am too young to have been involved in the Satanic Panic. I was a wee tyke when that was going on. But I am still old enough to realize it was some bullshit. And so, yes, very good article. As I told you yesterday, very painful for the reading. It was a difficult situation to go through. And that's a lot of life at the Foundation, unfortunately. Things do not often go well in stories that we deal with. Fact of life of working, dying in the dark so people can live at the light, etc., etc. Now, that being said, that was yesterday's LGBTQIA SCP of the day. Now it's time for today's LGBTQIA SCP of the day. So, what is your gay homework today, folks? Today, your gay homework is by one of my favorite writers of SCPs on the wiki, especially when it comes to the queer side of the SCP community, Ori Tiefling. And when you're reading an Ori story, it is always gonna hit you in the heartstrings. Ori crushes it every time, at least in my experience of reading their work. And their article that we're gonna be reading today is SCP-8558. Now this page isn't loading properly, so I can't see the title. Let me see if I can pull that up somehow. Where's the sidebar? All right, I'll do it over here. Fine. 8558, titled Hedonophobia, Carnal Rotting. Hedonophobia, carnal rotting is pretty effing gross. This one, you want to watch out for body horror in the content warning. That is for sure something to look out for. And also, this one gets a little kinky. This one has an adult content splash page and it requires it. But I will tell you this ahead of time. It's got one of my one of the themes I do enjoy with the SCP Wiki, which is us doing things we shouldn't do morally for the greater good, so to speak. And that's all I'll tell you right now. Be ready for some body horror, some adult themes, and we at the Foundation being pretty kind of dicks. When you go read SCP-8558, our Pride Month homework of the day, titled Hedonophobia, Carnal Rotting. Ugh. Let me tag that as desk, put it there. And yes, as always with the Pride homework, please do not read this if it will be bad for your mental health or your physical health. We're all in good fun here. Do not harm yourself or make yourself sick because you're reading something you shouldn't. The content warnings are there for a reason. There is no punishment for skipping a day. We're just chilling and highlighting articles that I thought would be interesting. ZM8, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cheeseburger on your way past the commissary. I've always had an idea of why we can't actually kill 682. It's because let me correct you there. Anomalies are objects, not people. They are its. They are not he's or she's. They are its. Even if it's a humanoid anomaly, if it's your brother who's anomalous, still an it. It is an object, not a person. Please do not humanize the anomalies, and please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols. It's a universal constant. We will literally have to kill our own universe to kill it. What do you think? I mean, in some universe, that is what it is, basically. That's seeming more and more every day to be correct, so frustratingly so. Why can't we dispose of SCP-729-... If it's not causing trouble, like neutralize that hell of a thing. Because we don't destroy anomalies, even if it would be very nice to. 682 is an exception, but if we don't have to destroy an anomaly, we don't like to. And even though I very much like the idea of getting rid of that thing, it hasn't proven bad enough for the overseers to allow it. Can we get a quick recap of all the gay homework? I missed some. Has anyone been taking notes? Because we are 11 days into Pride Month, and I have not. I've been jumping this by the seat of my pants and picking them the day of, so I do not have a list of everything we've highlighted, unfortunately. But I believe I always say them at the end of streams, so you could peek at the end of streams if there's anything you think you missed. Caracal, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a crepe on your way past the commissary. I think I can do my homework today. Woot. Don't mind a bit of body horror, surprisingly. By the way, gave the tree in my world head pats. It awed. "451 needs to scream. Can you make it scream? I don't care what other noises it makes. I want it to scream, please. Please. Just the other sound that could come out of it, please. That's... Aim for that next time." Did I say 451 and not 4521? Sorry, I was a little stretched out. Stressed out! What if you scream at the tree? I have screamed at that tree more than I can count. It has not screamed in return, unfortunately. Drowsy and Vox TV Demon, good to see you guys in the chat. Thank you for being members. Hi, Dr. Sherman, just got back from basketball practice. Nice. I am glad the gymnasium is getting some proper use and that staff members are taking up the Foundation Fitness Initiative in my stead. I have been doing more walking on my messed up ankle, and it is, well, it's less messed up now. It's the rehab I'm doing now. And I have been getting a little bit further, but man, does it hurt to walk in comparison to when I could just do it all I wanted to. So, just need to keep doing the physical therapy. I'll get back on my feet. It'll be great. Just one day at a time, one step at a time. DBNX, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself a hot cat on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, I have a problem. I was observing my assigned specimen of SCP-1000. It took my phone and it's been posting all over YouTube. Oh, so that's why the server in the artificial intelligence construct farm overheated today. Get your phone back. That way, they can stop removing all of those videos. Do it now. How does one resign from their position at the Foundation, and what will happen to them asking for a friend? Depending on the reason for the resignment, there are positive and negative ways to leave from the Foundation. Obviously, if you're retiring at the end of a long, lustrous career with great anomalies contained and researched, then you're going to get a high-class benefit package on exit. Now, we can't let you leave the Foundation with your memories of working here. And so we would need to amnestize you for the whole term of your having worked here. But we would, of course, implant false memories. We would get you a job at a civilian organization with a proper pay rate and retirement package befitting of your exit. So we set you up if you retire from the Foundation. Of course, if it's a dishonorable retirement, then maybe you'll be terminated, or maybe you will simply be put out on the street with no memory of where you've been, and you'll just have to deal with it. So, do a good job if you want to resign peacefully. Dr. Sherman, in the spirit of pride, what are your thoughts on SCP-2721, the trans Tumblr blog Moon SCP? I personally feel it gets far overhated for what it is. Well, Intern Fox, I agree with you. That specific anomaly, now, I'll tell you this, I don't enjoy reading it. And the reason for that is quite clearly very simple. It's that homestuck Tumblr uwu speak just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I find it hard to do in large doses, and it's not, if someone's talking to me, I don't mind it, but when I'm just reading that whole block of it, it's like, oh, that's a lot for me. And yet, just because I don't like it, I can't not respect the game. It is well written for what it's supposed to be, and it fits into the themes of the story it's telling, which I find impressive, even if I don't like it that much. And so when people off-site kvetch about it, I can't help but roll my eyes because they're not actually fans of the wiki anyways. They don't read the SCPs. They just know a couple spooky anomalies from Containment Breach and call themselves fans. But then we have the right-wing hate brigade coming in to try and blah, 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 the wiki and all. It frustrates me a lot. It's a fine article. It does its job. It tells its story well. And it annoys me when people stereotype it. Not a channel. You've been saying you're going to dip for a while, so Godspeed. DBNX, thank you for donating again. Dr. ES? I don't understand why you made that my name. Last time I checked, it was posting from the ice in LA. Oh my. Please do not let anomalies into a current political hotbed where there are recordings everywhere. That's why the servers are blowing up. Oh my God. Get your phone back and get that thing back in its box where it belongs. Dr. Sherman, what if you're in SCP-173's chamber and you blink with one eye at a time? Will he still get you? Listen, have you practiced blinking with one eye? Have you done it? Because watch this right here. You ready? I blink one eye, and you'll see sometimes the other eye instantly blinks. It's just a muscle twitch. Most people do not train their eyes to blink independently that strongly. Therefore, they're going to try this thinking they're clever, and they're going to get got. It's not a good plan, unless you have heavily trained yourself to do it right. And even then, some universes claim that 173 simply pulls out a gun and shoots you. Or, less jokingly, gets you anyways, because you're breaking the rules of the game. Dark red. Very nice if that's the proper list. And I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 anomalies. And today is the 11th, so that would be a 10th anomaly. So we're only missing 1 there. Good job. Maybe I'm even counting it wrong. The janitor is making out with the other scientists. Well, there aren't rules against about staff members dating. That is fine. I mean, we're not going to find anybody outside of the Foundation, so obviously inter-staff relationships are likely to happen. And also, that janitor's a hell of a player, so be careful with that one. It's got a bit of a reputation, if you know what I mean. Doctor, I am a beginner reader in SCP. What would a good beginning of the Foundation be? Huh, that's a bit difficult because there's a lot of SCPs. The best thing you can do is you can find a friend of yours who's into SCP or a content creator whose work you enjoy and use their SCP recommendations and the stories they've read as jumping off points for yourself. Because if you can trust their taste in stories, then you can go along with them. That's how I do it. I get recommended a lot of SCPs by other content creators or SCP authors that I know, and I check them out that way. I mean, sometimes I do just hit random page for the fun and see what comes up. But, and that's another good way to do it, is just to jump in head first. The biggest thing is to just keep reading, because the more you read, the more you've intaken, the more you get used to it. And eventually it doesn't bother you that there's 9,000 plus anomalies and you don't know them all, because there's no way to know them all. No one knows them all. Just like no one's read every comic book from Marvel or DC. There's just too many of them. Gamer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Hot Pocket on your way past the commissary. As a Republican, oh, we're doing politics now. One on record, it's not the right-wing hate brigade, it's the asshole brigade. Trump's in the second category, and so is the ethics committee. So what I will tell you is that I know many Republicans who are not assholes. The problem is that their party has been hijacked by assholes. And so when I say right-wing, I mean right-wing. To be clear, it's just that there's a certain brigade of that party that facilitates or lies down and does not oppose them. It's a whole thing. I don't need to get into it right now. Dr. Sherman, why are you dressed in a janitor outfit in the janitorial closet at 7:30? All right, first of all, I'm annoyed and asexual that you would make any sort of implication like that about me. Now, the reasons that I was dressed as a janitor in that area at that time are classified. Listen, I'm not saying that I was pulling an undercover boss and making sure that you were all not messing around on company time, but I'm not saying I'm not always watching. Gamer, thank you for donating again. And, yeah, that's rough. Edward. I just said I wasn't doing some weird undercover boss stuff. I can't believe you would think such a thing after I just clearly denied it very truthfully. Can I eat SCP-4521? Intern Lucas, if you ate the tree, then the tree would be no more. And if the tree is no more, we canna make it scream. Therefore, that would be a mission failure. I do not approve. Why do you want that tree to scream? No one 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to read the SCP-4521 documentation, and you will see very clearly why we want that. We all, not just me, we all want that tree to scream. It is a very important goal for the Foundation's purposes. I used to do readings of SCP. I don't recommend listening to it. I'm thinking of doing it again. Well, ZM8, I mean, I started with some really bad audio, trust me. I leave all of my oldest videos up on the channel, despite the embarrassment, because I want people to go back and see where we started and where we've come to. I mean, I had to learn by process of elimination to actually wear headphones while I was recording. I didn't know you had to wear recording headphones. at the beginning. That's how new to it I was. So, you learn a lot of things in the field, I tell you that. So, don't take the wrong message here. Always work to improve your art. Never stop. Do your best. That's all you can do. No one says you stole the tree. The alarms I have in that room are foolproof. You are not moving a tree. I doubt that. You're not doing it without my knowledge, that's for sure. Dr. Sherman, what if instead of eating the tree, you bit a chunk of it? Listen. Haven't we all bitten the tree at one time or another out of frustration at it not screaming? Didn't some of us think it might be a good idea if you bite one of the branches to see if it might scream? You know, you bite someone's finger, they scream, so why not the tree? I, for one, thought it was a good idea. Kyle Unofficial, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member. So I've been working on making my first SCP. It's not going to be the most incredible thing, but it'll be a good start, I think. Intern Plutonium, congratulations. Even starting to write is an achievement that most people do not mess with. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Yeah, do your best. Follow the guides on the wiki. Run down your edits and your critiques. Do your green light process. That way you follow the rules of the site. That way it stays up when you post it. And yeah, get your critique, do your edits, and have a good time with it. Writing is supposed to be fun after all, at least in this. Can I marry you, sir? Request denied. These interns, weird. Dr. Sherman, could SCP-055 be SCP-4521 Scream? The crossover no one knew we needed. That's interesting. I may just, in fact, try that. Dihydrogen monoxide. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Twix on your way past the commissary. Place SCP-729- SCP-29-J on the tree. We're still waiting for the ethics committee to approve that test. We're working on it. That is in the testing log. We just haven't been allowed to do it yet. Which Twix doctor, left or right? Well, I was going to say they could have both. Oh my. Gamer, thank you for contributing to the battle against the white names by gifting a membership. And Junior Researcher HLG, I suggest you thank Gamer for that donation. Andy, for something to be a Pride highlight here, we have to have it on the SCP Wiki to read, but thank you for that idea. The chip is wearing out. Yes, Amber, it is, in fact, lost its luster, and I don't know, I haven't done the emotional and physical health math of what's worse. That one big sickness of that chip, or the onslaught of that thing, in multiple of that thing in the chat. I'm weighing my options to be sure. Where can I find the SCP Fight Club at Site 42? I've looked around and I can't find it, so Dr. Sherman, help me out, please. SCP Fight Club? That's silly ridiculous. That's crazy. No way that we would ever set up a Site 42 Fight Club and have bettings on SCPs battling each other in the third floor break room of Sector 7G. We would never, especially if the first rule would be never to talk about it. No, we wouldn't do that. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk, for sure. Ethics Committee, we're totally think that's a crazy idea. Mentally Lost, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pack of red vines on your way past the commissary. Red alert, 729-2. Has breached containment. I mean, there have been 2 of them running around this chat today, so we already kind of knew that. By the way, time check Site 42 staff. We are 1 hour from the end of this stream. 1 hour from the end of this stream. To make the tree scream, you need the Doomslayer. Intern Cookwee. That is a terrible idea. Half of that thing's weaponry would obliterate the tree in no time. And without a tree, there's no tree to make scream. Okay, keep up. Foxpax, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a hot slice of extra cheese pizza on your way past the commissary. Okay, we're gonna need disinformation here now. We got choppers flying overhead and it's unsettling. Is there any labeling on the side of the choppers? Can you tell us who's on the lookout? But yes, I'll patch in disinformation and get them on your case. Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, care of Foxpax. All right, Agent Foxpax, it's up to you. Radley, oh, you already did the homework. Congratulations. I like the moxie. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Mine Wolf, thank you for... Is this your first donation of today's stream? I'm not sure. I remember talking to you earlier, but I'm not sure if you donated earlier. Either way, grab yourself a scone on your way past the commissary. And now I just have to wait for this thing to lag so I can get... There we go. Dr. Sherman, send mobile task force and a box. Someone put an SCP-1471 device into the upgrade machine. It's currently running down the hall outside your office. What happens when you put a cell phone into 914? Because I doubt it turned into that furry thing. Otherwise, we'd have a lot more people trying to do it because, the thirsty people for that anomaly. Crazy. Hashtag annoyed and asexual. So, no, I doubt it is that. But, yeah, if that cell phone's running around, we gotta put it in a box. So, up, get to it, start running. Hey, Dr. Sherman and Des, thank you guys so much for helping me the day before yesterday. That meant a lot to me, and hell, you guys are the first ones to help me with a bully, so thank you guys a lot. Well, Dr. Harley Jones, I hope, for the sake of yourself, that you have safer interactions and find some friends who are not jerks. Best of luck on that. I know in a world as big as ours, it's hard to find people of like minds and like interests and like temperaments. But all we can do is put our best foot forward and try to find a good tribe. And sometimes that is, online communities as well. Aether, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a plate of fettuccine Alfredo on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, sorry I'm late. I had an incident with 106 being in a mood and Abel stabbing me again during testing. Well, you do know that non-binary asexual murder hobo do be stabbing. That is Abel's whole thing. So, not shocking. Did you get to medical yet, or do you need to go to medical? Foxpax, thank you for donating again. Simple answer, yes, all of them. I'm sure the GOC is listening in, trying to figure out how we're operating here. Okay, so this is more than disinformation, because now it's not the civilians that are finding out. It is, okay, we need a coordinated plan between multiple groups of interest. All right, duly noted, adding it to the complaint. Probably going to need to move from disinformation to the fire suppression department, maybe. No, fire suppression doesn't deal with exterior threats like that, right? They deal with interior threats. We want alchemy, anomalous entity, enigmatics, artificial intelligence, cryptozoology, decommissioning, department of deletions, entomology, emergent threat, tactical response authority, maybe. Fire suppression, maybe. Communications, no. Mythology and folkloristics, no. Pataphysics, no. Procurement and liquidation, no. Surrealistics, absolutely not. Tactical theology, nah. Telecommunications, nah. Temporal, nah. Department of Abnormalities, nope. None of these are the people I thought it would be. So I think it might be fire suppression. No, this is internal. Emergent Threat Tactical Response Authority. Identifying and responding to threats, coordinating emergency responses to events affecting multiple Foundation sites or even the entire world. ETRA is also involved in preemptive operations, resolving previously overlooked problems through the innovative use of anomalous assets. A more comprehensive list. Oh my. Foundation facilities, locations of interest, Foundation fronts, persons of interest, species of interest, bots, admin, info databases and records, research and containment, security, international. I would have thought we had something for group of interest relations. Who's in charge of our crisis assessment, decommissioning department? Groups. Monitors and obstructs groups who seek to disseminate information about the anomalous. No, that's not what we're talking about here. The first response to containment breaches and attacks by groups of interest on Foundation facilities. That's 04 command. Monitors and disrupts groups who seek to disseminate Foundation. Maintains records on groups of interest. Studies anomalous phenomena. No. Studies and communicates with groups. All right, so we might need to talk to the GOI research group. The Department of Advanced Diplomacy. That's who I was looking for. A subdivision of the External Affairs and Intelligence Agency. Yes, that's who we want to call to get your situation mitigated. So, okay, now that we have too many departments, man. It's a lot. $729-J-SCP. Thank you for donating again. I eaten the whole tree. My screen says that 4521 is there, so I guess you must have fallen for a bait tree. Congratulations, you prick. Traveler682, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a garlic bread on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, have you ever seen the SCP Experience channel? They have great SCP tales. Actually, for once, that's one I've never heard of. Interesting. Cyber Scorpion, thank you for, I think this is your second donation of today's stream. Grab a garlic knot, if not so. I have an idea for the tree. My tail venom is 5 times as painful as a bullet, and it's not meant to destroy, it's just corrosive. Also, 682 is escaping. Well, first of all, go help them contain the lizard. We'll talk about the tree later. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. I have unmarked aircraft on standby in case we can't get them to leave peacefully. I just pray we don't have to use them. Yes, we don't want to skirmish in a city center. Oh, I'm glad I picked the right food for you then, Cyber Scorpion. Is Cassidy from Five Nights at Freddy's considered an SCP? Well, Intern Bateman, since it is an anomaly from a different fandom / intellectual property, it cannot be an SCP because we can't take other people's works and make them our own. That's plagiarism. But it is anomalous because it is a spooky ghost person. Traveler, thank you for donating again. I rides the lizard like woo. You would think Dr. Kondraki doing that would be enough. I work with a bunch of baboons and savages. Does anyone remember yesterday's chat about SCP Just a Chair? You shouldn't remember that. The amnestics were supposed to erase that from your mind. We're dealing with a very serious entity. Ixnay on the airchay. Dr. Sherman, how does the SCP Foundation celebrate birthdays? Well, intern Caden Cat, that is up to your foundation site director, how they handle birthdays among staff. For us here, it is typically a small cupcake is left on your desk, along with a gift card to the local Crapplebees. That way you can go out and have an after work beveragino with your fellow staff mates. Raccoon Dog, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some delicious trash on your way past the commissary. How would containing Godzilla work if possible? Well, I mean, kaijus are pretty difficult because they are so massive that they are seen from a large way away, basically, and they usually end up attacking city centers, which causes a lot of people to see them very quickly. So, we're in a situation where, essentially, the way you see, what's their name? That M-named group from the recent films, Monarch, I believe? Well, actually, I've got a better idea. Rather than depending on Monarch, why don't I look at the way we have previously contained kaijus? So, let's see. Kaiju movie. No. There we go. 2954. Looping Kaiju Killing. 2954. That's what I was looking for. So what happens is SCP-2954, which is titled codename Looping Kaiju Killing, is a set of 6 large satellite dish-like weapons located on the boundaries of a deserted rural town in Redacted, which is an area where the Japanese version of the Foundation, known as, what is it called? Ijema? I need to go to the footnote so I can pull up their names so I can tell you what they're called. Come on, what is your name? The Imperial Japanese Anomalous Matters Examination Agency, otherwise known as Ijema. That is the Japanese version of the SCP Foundation. And back in the day, they used to run this, but now that they're defunct, we run the Anomaly now. And so these weapons shoot electric arcs through unknown means. And then there are the -2 entities, which are 60-meter tall reptilian amphibious entities. Instances are bipedal, walking hunchback with their mouths always slightly open. They are capable of spitting a corrosive fluid. The Subaraya event starts every 7 days with a single entity manifesting and beginning to destroy its surroundings. As the entities rampage, the weapons activate, firing at the Kaiju. The Kaiju will move towards these weapons, trying to destroy them, but gunfire will break out and there are tanks and voices heard. We don't see the tanks, but we see artillery shells materializing in midair, aimed at the entities. These invisible, intangible military forces still fire projectiles that hit the Kaiju. During this event, at least one of the satellite dishes will be destroyed, but usually, up until now, the Kaiju has always been defeated, which means that we're able to kind of maintain normalcy. We also have, of course, the Pacific Rim. What are they called? What's the name of a mech in Pacific Rim? Kaiju is what the monsters are. It's going to annoy me. I don't want to look it up. Jaeger, thank you, Edward. Points to you for successfully being the first one to clarify. I appreciate it. Yes, we have the Jaeger called Dragon Slayer. And that is, what is it, SCP-55 something something? SCP Dragon Slayer 5514. See, I was close. So yes, we have to find a way to banish the Kaiju. We need to bury it under the ocean. We need to kill it. We need to banish it to another dimension. We need to battle it with a Jaeger. There's a lot of ways to deal with these things, and then continue to disinform the public about what really happened. Usually we tell them it was a very bad hurricane. If you know anything about the Japanese tidal waves, well, at least one of those wasn't it. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. It's a bit late for that. We've already had a few incursions of the GOC, especially given the fact they brought armor last time. I'm glad we were able to get some Bradleys from the US government. Plus it being a PMC with military ties. Yes, but we don't want to owe Uncle Sam anything. They get real greedy when they have to call back for favors. So I'd rather we handle this in-house, but that's all we can do. That's all we can do. We cannot let the GOC have the facility, though, because you know they're just going to raise it to the ground. And then we will not be able to study biological animatronic suits that spawn young. Think of the research we have at hand here. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. I took a picture of SCP-729- Hey. With the Desire camera. Oh no. Oh no, I'm afraid to read the rest of this message. The resulting photo was so unspeakably disturbing that I had to redact it and incinerate it. Fuck no. All right, you did the right thing there. I probably wouldn't have taken the picture, but at least you did the right thing with the picture. I'd rather see 096 than that. Doc, you know, why there are 3 armed guards at the coffee machine? It's because someone in the break room isn't replacing the filters. And if they can't be grown adults in the office, then they are going to have their coffee privileges revoked. If you really want coffee, you can go purchase some at the commissary. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. We got them a few years ago, back when I was working with TF141. Those were fun times, just sad the group was disbanded after Soap's death a few years ago. Yeah, you can't save everybody. That is part of the trouble of working at the Foundation. We do our best, but it doesn't always work. Hello, SCP-049. I may have snatched researcher Isabella's phone. I may have lost the gender switching stone in the process. Uh-oh, what do I do? Well, you remember that our deal was you get access to the stone if you behave and you do the work with that mobile task force we signed you up with. It seems like losing the gender switching stone is going to be a demerit against that record. I highly recommend you find it quickly. I bet if the Foundation was real, they would look at the Earth right now and say, you know what, whatever, let them loose. This planet is already messed up anyway. Well, I can say for a fact, being real, that no, I would not. Trust me, in all of my years in the Foundation, I have learned one important thing. It can always be worse. Watch your mindset. You're going to get yourself in trouble that way. -729. Jay, thank you for donating again. Look behind you. I took a picture of you. This wall seems pretty solid. I am pressing X to doubt. Can I let all the SCPs out? No. You retract that message all you like, Lucas. I saw it. What kind of stupid intern-ass question is that? On top of which, can I just say, of all the anomalous organizations that I've interacted with, that the team who shall remain nameless from Cabin in the Woods, the film, has to be the dumbest ass one I've ever seen. Honestly, who puts a big red button that releases every single anomaly in the facility? Are you kidding me? Who does that? They deserved everything they got and more. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Intern Nick, it wasn't the color of the button that was the problem. A blue button would not have made it acceptable. Please. Doctor, what site are you at? I want to visit. It's not just me, right? The channel name is visible on screen, yes? It's somewhere around here? The channel name, which is a very specific site? I was told we hire the best of the best of the best. I was told I was be working with the most brilliant minds, the luminaries of the world's scientific minds. Okay. I'm fine. Time check. We have 35 minutes left in this stream, people. 35 minutes. You need to give me some good questions. I need it for the morale. Please. Foxpax, thank you for donating again. How would the Foundation contain Xana from Code Lyoko? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. All right, so we're dealing with a computer program, computer virus, extremely intelligent and conscious, so of course it's a sentient AI. We're dealing with an 079 all over again. Capabilities, excellent. Multi-agent virus taking over supercomputer that holds Lyoko and activates towers on Earth. Yep. So the towers are a real problem. Gain access to the real world. That can infiltrate networks and emerge from the outlets as ghostly specters to interact with the real world, or the closest thing it has to a physical form. Infiltrates networks, controls electromagnetic energy, possesses objects, structures, large areas, and living beings on Earth. Ghostly specters to interact with the real world. Teleport minions to Earth through scanners or replicas. Create and activate devices on Earth. Monsters and programs. Well, it's definitely going to give the Artificial Intelligence Applications Department a lot to deal with, but the AIAD is a pretty savvy anomalous organization. One thing you'll note in a long time ago is that we did a series talking to a group of SCP authors who did a series in the AIAD subject matter. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was Limited Memory. Yeah, Limited Memory by Team.aic is a series in the SCP universe of a crazy artificial intelligence virus that almost took over all of reality. Or at least the planet. Scrolling through it now. The AICs are talking. They ended up spawning robots that would steal electrical equipment from office buildings to form bodies. But eventually, it ended up becoming this super eldritch AI towards the end of the series. It's a great set of stories if you want to check it out. The art on it is very cool. Like the ending, one of the entities you're dealing with looks like this. Let me give you a shot of this. So this is the kind of weird AI anomaly that we're dealing with. Oops, accidentally hit something while I was putting you guys back on the tripod. My bad. Let's close that. TLDR, Foxpax, I'm going to let the Artificial Intelligence Applications Division deal with that. SCP-6789 is Siren Head. Yes, there's a Siren SCP. Somewhat. So remember, Siren Head, 2 words, the anomalous entity with sirens for a head, is not an SCP. It is a anomaly made by creator Trevor Henderson that was mistaken for an SCP because someone used an SCP Foundation sandbox page where authors write their drafts, and they wrote a fake SCP document for Siren Head that everyone bought into because the offsite community didn't know the difference between Siren Head, between the sandbox and the actual site. After many of us spent weeks clarifying that Siren Head by Trevor Henderson is not an SCP, an SCP author got the classy, hilarious idea to write an SCP about a boat that had a figurehead on the front that was alive, and it was a siren, as in singing sailors to their death siren. And they called it Siren Head, one word. That is an SCP. And it also means that I have to keep explaining the difference between Siren Head 2 words and Siren Head 1 word. Very annoying. Dr. Sherman, are you an SCP? Me? No, I'm an SCP researcher. I'm a site director. why would I be an SCP? I'm not even anomalous. I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a normal dude. I'm just a average site director. Well, I'm an above average site director, but it's not because I'm anomalous. It's because I'm damn good at my job. I'm just your run-of-the-mill everyday human being. Me, my pen, these are not anomalous in any way, shape, or form. Is there an SCP that you know of that could help people who are dealing with real-world loss? Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So, SCPs, if someone is dealing with some real-ish. My first thought is SCP-4999. SCP-4999 is a humanoid entity who shows up at the deathbeds of critically ill people and takes them off to the, basically gives them a last smoke. And apparently people feel better when encountering this anomaly. So, that's the first one I think of because it might give you some vibes. Yeah, someone to watch over us is the code name. I would think that one would be the closest to one that actually makes you feel better about a loss, if I were to guess at it. Can I think of any other anomaly that might do something like that, is the question. While I'm thinking about that, Intern Altman. Yes, there is an SCP that is a language, but I forget which one it is. But there is an anomalous language. Junior researcher HLG, I don't think 1762 makes anyone feel better about anything. If anything, I feel like that's tragic and worse. I guess if you are close with your 1471 entity, then maybe Mallow would make you feel better. But I don't know a lot of people who don't think that a Mallow entity is pretty creepy, therefore they're not fans of it, and it doesn't make them feel better. What about SCPs that make you feel better? Obviously, SCP-999 is used to help people with depression at times, so that could be one that's good. SCP-348, the bowl of soup that makes you feel better, could be a good one for that. That is a anomaly that could be used to make people feel better after a loss. And of course, there's SCP-3806, titled I Am Awaited in Valhalla, which is graveyard mausoleums that work as phone booths that put you through to a operator who can arrange what afterlife you go to. Although I guess that's like preparing for your own loss rather than someone else's loss. Interesting question. Had to really think on that one. (729-J). Thank you for donating again. What site do you work at again? I forgot. You son of a... Dr. Sherman, SCP numbers with access denied as a title is an available SCP number, correct? Yes, if there is an SCP on the database that says access denied in all caps with the brackets, that means that that has not been claimed and you can put an SCP in that spot. Pardon. Traveler, thank you for donating again. I'm currently working on a way to bring an instance of 1471 into our plane of reality to be able to study it closer and interact with it. You and every furry SCP staff member. I'm not granting you a research budget for that, by the way. You do that on your own time. Or better yet, don't do that. We don't need them to be corporeal. That only makes things worse for us. Those monster fuckers and demon daters will have a field day. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. Whoever just put that thing in my pocket dimension is getting terminated. Oh my god. Oh, I hate finding that thing where it's not supposed to be. Ugh. Cyber Scorpion, thank you for donating again. Can you talk about SCP-3700, The Tides of War? 3700, eh? Let us see what we find. The Tides of War. A Protocol Winter Maelstrom. What a name. Project Protocol Tumult. If we fail to contain 3700-2. 3700 is a designation for a circular area in the North Sea with a diameter of 800 kilometers, encompassing the archipelagos of Faroe, Orkney, and Shetland. 3700 has an abnormal depth, with the seafloor located approximately 5 kilometers below ocean surface, compared to the average 250 to 300 meters for the rest of the North Sea. 3700 is subject to a wide and varied array of anomalous occurrences due to ritualistic interactions between two entities, which have been designated 3700-1 and 3700-2. Active effects of 3700 are wholly dependent on which entity successfully subdues the other during each ritual. All rituals, with the exception of 2 consistent dates, take place at random periods of time. 3700-1, 3700-2 always interact on dates corresponding with the spring and fall equinox of the given year. Yeah, I think I've heard of this before. Big arthropod, benign, rudimentary sapience. When accompanied by Delta 7, it will either ignore the presence of Foundation vessels or provide some primitive form of aid via propelling disabled crafts away from peril. Meanwhile, the other one, the -2, is the douchebag, right? The douchebag snake. 60-meter tentacles. Mouth estimated to reach 3 kilometers in depth when open. Jiminy sakes. Capable of evoking rapid changes in meteorological conditions. Of course, it's going to make storms happen. Interactions between the two consist of prolonged struggle, where each entity will attempt to temporarily kill or subdue the other one. Interactions on equinox dates always occur at the center of the 800-kilometer zone. Interactions shortly following the given equinox dates are usually short and can occur in random locations, with the victor of the previous interaction quickly dispatching the other entity. Historically, the previously subdued party has defeated its counterpart during the next equinox prior to implementation of current protocols. This results in 2 6-month cycles where 3700-1 would dominate one cycle and -2 the other. Since implementation of current Foundation procedures, -1 is subdued -2 for 64 straight equinoxes with Foundation aid. When 1 subdues 2, storms and harsh weather are immediately dispelled despite meteorological conditions in areas outside of the zone. Reproductive rates of local oceanic fauna increase by a factor of 3, and crop yields for the duration of the 6-month period go up as well. When -2 wins the fight, conditions become perilous, travel by sea is rendered difficult, ocean food sources are driven from the area due to extreme conditions. So long story short, we got 2 sea monsters, and we want one of them to win. And we make sure that one of them wins. Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked that we make the effort to interfere in this way. Usually we're more of the do what we gotta do to contain knowledge, but we don't let it change things in the benefit of humanity. So I'm a little surprised that we are going that far. But hey, if it's for the benefit of humanity, I'm not sad about it, at least. It's not the protocols the way I know them, but we'll be fine. Drowsy, time check. We are 19 minutes from end of stream. We are coming up on the finish line. Traveler, thank you for donating again. Spider Moon. Where? No. No, no, no. Okay. I looked out the window. There is no Spider Moon. We're fine. Don't scare me like that. Fox Pax, thank you for donating again. Oh, for the love of, this man doesn't seem to die. Of course, Marakov is involved. Dr. Sherman, please advise. Oh boy. I didn't realize we were getting up to a full altercation so soon. Stop typing. I know I'm panicking. Just stop. Come on. Okay, listen. What I want you to do... Listen, Foxpax, I want your team to requisition SCP-6952. It seems like you guys could use some upgraded weaponry, and that manual will do the work. So, you have my permission to make that happen. $729-J. Thank you for donating again. Site 19 is in chaos because of me. Well, Director Moose will have to do something about that. Not my site, not my problem. Caracal, thank you for donating again. While I shall not fraternize with the entities themselves, you can't stop me from enjoying the art. The furry MSG site has plenty of safe for work, cute art. I guess that is a better compromise than most of these thirsty bastards will give, so I guess thank you for that. Moon Jam, thank you for enjoying the Site 42 works. Glad you like the channel. Hey, Dr. Sherman, the town got fucked by spiders. Oh, no. The town that got fucked by bears is bad enough. But spiders? Ugh. Harjinder, can you contain Siren Head? Intern Harjinder, I have a video on this channel, I believe, that mentions containment procedures for the Siren Head entity if it were an SCP, which it isn't. Yes, Siren Head is not an SCP, but if it were. Although I was a complete idiot, and I put a typo in the title. And that's going to annoy me until I fix it, so give me a second. How many people in the comments corrected my typo? Let's find out. Oh, considering it being the first word in the title, it seems like no one's mentioning it. Yes, the inattentiveness of staff works in my advantage for once. Ha! Doctor, I think your thumbnail has become a full-blown George instance. It appears to be infecting all of YouTube. No, that can't happen. Our mimetic filters are just fine on this channel. Nothing is spreading. Desk, nothing is spreading, right? Desk. Nothing is spreading, right? We haven't infected all of YouTube with George. Oh my God, that's gonna be insane. You gotta tell me. We're fine, right? We're fine. No, wait a minute. Homepage. I did not screw up everything. I'm just fine. Okay. If there's a problem, it's not on the homepage. Okay, Desk says we're good. Desk says we're good. Nobody wants to mess with the site director, that's why they didn't say anything. You know what? I'll take it. Caracal, thank you for donating again. Forgot to tell you, the puppy-killing claw machine only head-patted the puppy. Still got my cookie. Is there something that does the reverse of a reality sync? Well, the reverse of a reality sink would be making things anomalous that aren't. Which someone else is in the chat talking about, is there an object that makes other objects anomalous or something? And I don't know of any object that does that. But that would be the opposite. What you seem to be doing is more like making SCPs benign and or nice, which is a different thing, but still strange. Also, the reverse of a reality sink or anchor could be a reality bender. That is true, Desk. Ah, yes, it was intern Lickleam who was asking if there was an SCP where other objects become anomalous near them. I do not know of that one. Hey, Dr. Sherman, if there was an actual SCP town with the town that got fucked by spiders, would you go? I would absolutely not go. No, you can't make me. I am not going to a town of spiders. I am a site director. I am supposed to be here. Someone else do it. There's a reason I'm not going to visit SCP-3023, which, to be honest, might as well be the town that got fucked by spiders. That one would, in fact, I'm not going anywhere near it. Are you afraid of spiders? I'm not afraid of spiders. They are just terrible and disgusting and deserve to die. It's not fear, it's hatred. Get it right. What is SCP-3023? The short version, it's a town in Germany where random items turn into spiders at random times. And these spiders are the size and materials of the thing they are transformed from, and they universally want to kill you. So, there was a metal folding chair that turned into a spider and tried to kill a bunch of people. There was a pill of ibuprofen that turned into a spider in someone's throat and then ripped out alien style. And of course, there was the spider that was formed of a frickin' SUV. That one we had to call in an airstrike to take out. Serial Ducky. I did not see one the size of a house, but I'm not looking into that document, so I don't know. I sure hope not. Why, man, I am going to bed. You tuned in to a stream from a horror community. This is on you. What do you think of the gender switching stone? Well, it is a very useful tool for those in the Foundation who need to transition. That's why it's involved in the medical plan for Foundation staff members. Although, it is very, very painful to use. But it's only painful for a couple of seconds to a minute, so let's, I mean, a lot of them say it's worth it to use, so hey, if it works for them, it works for them. Card Slayer, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a brewski on your way past the commissary. Does the SCP Foundation work with the FBC, otherwise known as the Federal Bureau of Control? Well, we do our best not to work with government organizations unless we have to, because they are usually poorly funded due to the riffraff of politics causing issues. We are much more efficient with our private organization and funders. And so we don't work with the UIU, or the UI useless as we like to call them, or any other group of interest unless we have to, because our way is the best way to deal with anomalies. But sometimes their team-ups need to happen, and we do what we can when we have to. What is a spider moon? A spider moon was a scenario we underwent where a spider nearly the size of the moon was on the moon, therefore visible from planet Earth. It was disgusting and awful, and we blew up the moon to get rid of it. It was a successful mission. I regret nothing. And we replaced the moon. We got a new one. It's fine. Although that moon is now haunted. So, but we'll figure it out. We can go moon shopping after the stream ends. Time check. We are 6 minutes from the end of stream. This is the last 6 minutes of stream, everyone. Super Sawyer, is my bed going to turn into a spider? It can only, that can only happen if you are located in the exact area of SCP-3023, and that exact area is mapped out here. So unless you are in the area surrounding Kassel, Germany, then you have nothing to worry about. Now, if you are in that area, then I'm very sorry for you. What is a femur breaker? A femur breaker is a machine we use to break femurs. It's right there in the name. It is used in the containment of SCP-106 because SCP-106 is a predator hunter. Predator/hunter, not a hunter of predators. And so we can trick 106 into stopping escaping a Foundation site by breaking some femurs of a D-class, which the pained screams bring 106 back into the facility where we can put it back in its box. What's the difference between anomalous substances and regular illegal substances? Well, some of them are anomalous, and the other ones aren't. I mean, illegal substances are illegal because of governmental reasons. Illegality has nothing to do with what a substance does and if it's normal or anomalous. I mean, for a while, there's plenty of legal substances that are anomalous until we get them off the market. Especially dealing with Dado, the parapharmacologist. That guy's so annoying. I'm here for the pen spinning. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, congratulations. You have fallen for the SCP Foundation's version of Subway Surfers. I'm trapping you in the stream for watch time using my hypnotism. Completely non-anomalous, by the way. I'm not anomalous, and the pen spinning is not anomalous. This is just a cool skill I picked up. Totally average, cool skill that you can learn to do yourself. Nothing anomalous about it. Just a normal, everyday pen being spun, and it just tricks people. You're all being tricked. But non-anomalously tricked. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone who does not follow those constraints, we are now reaching the end of today's stream. And at the end of today's stream, as well as at the end of every stream, we have a tradition. I tell you my favorite SCPs. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you the SCPs I wrote are my favorite SCPs, that'd be cheating. I can't say my SCPs, that's too obvious. But if you did want to read the SCPs I wrote, including the thumbnail of this stream, SCP-3086, George the Chinchilla, you can go to the Sherm's author page and Site42 Hub on the SCP Wiki. There you'll see all of the SCPs I have written, as well as other ones I contributed to, maybe voice work like the SCP-049 document. And while you're there, there's some direct donation links. You can become a Site42 patron, get early access to our videos as cheap as $1 a month, because we're trying to get a bunch of people to do a little. That's how we grow this thing. Meanwhile, you can become a channel member here on YouTube, where at tier 1, you get the green name and the badges and the emojis, and then level 2 and up, you get early access. There's no benefits for the Patreon, so I make it cheaper over there, just because the only benefit is the early access. So, I'm trying to balance it. I'm doing my best. But, even if you can't directly donate to us at Site42, as long as you're here watching, subscribed, hitting like button and all that good YouTube jazz, then you are a member of Mobile Task Force Sci-42, codename the Signal Boosters. And it's our mission to boost Site-42 so that we, in turn, can boost SCP games and films and other projects that are coming up. For instance, your buddy here, the site director, just happened to open communication channels with a team known as SOM Studios. SOM Studios on YouTube are working on a certain SCP animated thing. And they put out a teaser, and the teaser looks pretty good. So SOM, spelled S-O-E-M, Studios. You should go check them out on YouTube after the stream ends, so you can see this SCP anime-looking thing they're putting together. It looks pretty good. But, so you can go do that, let me tell you my favorite SCPs, in no particular order. SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and with a big content warning, SCP-8980. That one's a rough read, to be fair. Also, remember your gay homework, which is SCP-8558. Keep an eye on the trigger warnings there as well. One more time through. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031-5175-5320, 8980, big content warning for that one. And then the gay homework is SCP-8558. Also, content warnings for that one. I hope you've had fun. I hope you learned something, Site42 staff. This has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the Anomalous broadcast of Site42. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. Drove downtown in the rain, 9:30 on a Tuesday night, just to check out the late night record shop. Call it impulsive, call it compulsive, call it insane. But when I'm surrounded, I just can't stop. It's a matter of instinct, it's a matter of conditioning, a matter of fact. You can call me Pavlov's dog. Ring a bell and I'll salivate. Oh, how'd you like that? Dr. Landy, tell me you're not just a pedagogue. 'Cause right now I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Whoa. So I'm lying here just staring at the ceiling tiles, and I'm thinking about, oh, what to thinking about. Just listening and re-listening to Smiley smile, and I'm wondering if this is some kind of creative drought, 'cause I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did. Well, I'm lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did.